Tape's going, Sam? Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please, for June 18th, 2013 at 6 o'clock. Can I call the roll?
Mr. Haddad?
Here.
Mr. Maloney?
Here.
And Mr. Jennermeyer and Mr. Sinclair.
Okay. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would like to. Is there any questions on the special meeting for May 30th and June 4th? And take an approval of the minutes on that, please.
We can't do the special meeting because I wasn't here. I had health issues that I couldn't make it, so we can do the regular, sir.
Okay.
So I will motion to approve the regular minutes of the regular meeting on June 4th.
Second.
Okay, call the roll, Mr. Haddad?
Yes?
Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any additions or deletions to the agenda tonight?
I have none.
I'll just bring something up that's minor during the administration, so no big deal.
All right. And then we've got a new member of the family here today, I hear, huh?
What the chief?
Chief?
Officer Shiraz, Sergeant Toth, why don't you come on up front? You guys, maybe stand over. I just I want to take this opportunity to introduce Officer Shiraz, who is our new K-9 officer, and Sergeant Toth, who's going to be his direct supervisor and coordinate all the activities of the K-9 unit. As you know, I don't know if you saw the article in the Blade.
Oh, yeah.
Or, we've gotten some real positive PR, and in fact, Officer Shiraz and I were just talking about it a little bit ago about the reaction of the community already to the positive reaction to the dog and how everything's gone really well. And Patrick just returned June 7th from training down there that in Columbus, 6 weeks of it, that I think he'll tell you was probably some of the most challenging training that you could ever get. And by all accounts, and not just hearing from the two of them, but we really lucked out. Number one, Sergeant Toth was instrumental in us choosing Gold Shield as the company that we did the training and went and selected the dog in Europe and such. And by all accounts, and I've actually heard from a highway patrol lieutenant and that sort of thing, I think we got the best dog in the class.
Good.
And anyway, in Patrick and Speedy are already proven to be a really, really good team. So this is going to be a great thing. It's going to be very proactive for the community and such. And I think it's just going to reflect very positively on our department and Sylvania Township in general that we're very proactive that way. So
Well, thank you for your commitment.
Where's he at?
Yes.
He's in the car.
Can we see him?
Well, I'll let Patrick explain. We're going to have you go out and meet him.
Public building?
Absolutely. If we want, we can go outside.
Yes, I would like to.
You can see him or you want-
I'd like to see our dog.
Do you want to do it now or after the meeting?
How about we just finish it? We'll finish we're going to be done here quick today. Yeah, we got an
All
easy
right.
night, so love to see
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'd like to see the dog. Get a few pictures. Thank you.
Can we have ask a question?
Sure.
That's at this point now.
Mr. Haddad, you mentioned it's not against law. I think you're misunderstanding what I said.
I didn't hear what you said, Penny, so go ahead.
Why do you answer? Anyway, the dog is in the car, right?
Mhm.
You're not supposed to leave the dog in the car like if you were a citizen. At what point is it too hot?
The car is specially equipped. I'll let Officer Shiraz.
Here is a heat alarm. It's 68 degrees in the backseat of my car right now.
That answers my question.
I'll tell
I
you.
feel a lot better.
Also with that vehicle, when it gets up and I can set it, it's set at 75 right now. If it goes over 75, my windows in the back roll down and actually set off my horn and lights so that people know to go check on the dog.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, thanks.
There you go.
Just asking.
We're just
Come on,
handling
No, absolutely.
Okay.
So am
That's a good
I.
question.
So's Neil. Our dogs chase each other in the lawns back and forth every day.
I'm a dog lover, so.
Any other questions or what? Or you could always ask them.
I saw the dog out of sight earlier, and then I'm wondering, where's the dog? The dog's got to be in the car. And, you know, even though it's not that hot, but on occasion, things such as this, will the dog be protected, that kind of thing, when it's in the car and for how long?
And I keep a water bowl. He has a water bowl that actually won't spill when I'm driving the calls. So he's got 64 ounces of water.
So
He's good. He's perfectly taken care of.
He's got it better than you got.
That's a good
All
job.
right, great, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we'll take a look at Speedy right afterward, okay? Okay, thank you.
Do you want to
Thanks.
let him do his monthly report? Why he's standing up?
Well, there
Go
was
ahead, John,
nobody.
whatever you want to do.
Nobody, yeah. Well, yeah, you want to just do your report too, while you're up here.
Okay.
But nobody signed in for
No.
hearing of the public, right? Just do that. So, Chief, since you're already up here, why don't you do that?
Okay.
I'll make this as brief as possible. I won't go over all the numbers and such. Page 2, you can see that we had 1,492 calls for service. On page 3, you have the breakdown as far as the different offenses and traffic-wise, the accidents, the different criminal offenses and such. The one thing I will tell you is we're trending pretty much the same as where we were at this time last year. Calls for service are down a little bit, but overall, the offenses and such are pretty much the same. You can see the detectives' caseload stats on page 4. Just very briefly, 78 cases assigned. They cleared 42 of them, and they cleared 24 cases from prior months, so they actually cleared a total of 66 cases for the month. On page 5, the May DEA task force, the one thing, you know, it continues to be a very, number one, we're taking drugs off the street in Northwest Ohio through our officers' assignment to that task force. But the first couple sentences there, I think, would probably please you in the fact that they've, in May, they opened several large investigations that will probably prove pretty positive for us financially down the road, too. So that's been a real good marriage with him in that task force. As far as a lot of our community affairs actions, this week we're doing Safety Township out at Central Trails Elementary School, and I believe we ended up with about 120 kids in that program. On May 28th, community affairs officers held the graduation for the Citizens Police Academy, which was very well received by the participants in that. They continue to be, this is a very busy time of the year for us. As you know, I think it was talked about before, we also participated with the fire department in the 24-hour challenge. We hosted the OTOA conference, the Ohio Tactical Officers Association conference, May 20th through 23rd. And I'll just say that we're very lucky to have such a fantastic outdoor range with our positive relationship with Hanson's. Community affairs continued our increased presence at the schools through the end of the school year, which again, Sylvania Schools has been real happy with that too. Finally, what I just want to skip to here real briefly is I got a positive letter. Our house check program continues to be a very positive thing, well received by the community. I got a real nice letter about the diligence of the officers. I don't know if people are aware of it, but we walk each of those houses 2 times a day, afternoons and day shift, and people are pretty impressed with that. A letter from Columbus, an officer with Columbus PD, and as you know, that's probably the largest police department in the state. I'll just very briefly read it. I recently had the pleasure of training at your tactical training center as a participant of the OTOA conference. I first want to express what a great experience it was. Not only was your facility top-notch, he's referring to the outdoor range, but the personnel that were running the range were very impressive as well. I was especially impressed with the civilian volunteers that helped this event. Keep up the good work. So it's kind of nice to be recognized by a big department as having top-notch facilities and top-notch personnel. And then a letter complimenting Sergeant Hankinoff on day shift road patrol and Detective Albright for their work in a theft offense that occurred out of Ken's Flower Shop. They were very happy with the good work that they did. And then finally, I don't know if you're aware of it, just to make you aware of it, I don't have the exact date of this, but it was in May, toward the very end of May. We responded to a call in which we ended up discovering an ecstasy lab over on Crest Ridge.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay. And anyway, obviously we had to call in the right people to clean that up or what. And with that, I'm done. Do you have any questions?
Compliment you on putting the speed thing over there on Quarry Road. It has really slowed down the traffic a lot, especially when the construction was going on. Now Sylvania Avenue's all open. Everybody's flying down there at 60 miles an hour, so we got to keep an eye on that road.
I drove it the first time today, and the pavement is nice and smooth. It
I know,
almost feels
beautiful.
like you're riding
You
on
did
a
a great
plane.
job.
Yeah, yeah.
I was there with the
Thank you.
construction contractors. He says, "Don't worry, Kevin, we'll get it done as long as we don't get too much rain." So it took him a day extra, and he said, "We got it all done, so that's good."
Oh, it's nice it's done.
Beautiful.
Now we await the next big one.
I know.
Thanks.
Great job, Chief. Great job, you
Thank
guys,
you, Chief.
everybody.
Darrell?
Good evening. The monthly report for May for zoning. The Board of Zoning Appeals had one variance that was approved. That was for a pond on Mitchell Road. The regular zoning commission meeting was canceled, but we had a special meeting at the end of the month for the Old Central Elementary, the rezoning that this board heard a couple weeks ago. And we had no project plan review for the month. Permits continue to roll right along. We had 61 for the month of May, as opposed to 38 a year ago and 42 years ago, and 3.2 million in estimated value, which again is much better than the last 2 years. And year to date, we're almost the same amount of permits as we had last year. We're at 114, but the dollar value again is much higher at 11.7. Jim, if you can go down to the next page, please. New housing permits, again, doing really well with that. Through the month of May, we had 32. That's almost as much as we had the last 2 years combined. And again, the dollar value's almost 7.8 million on that. There's a couple graphs there showing the number of permits for the last 5 years, as well as the dollar value for the last 5 years. So, knock on wood, we're going to have a good year. Last year, if you recall, we had 50 for the whole year, and that was our best year since, I believe it was 2008.
Yeah, the crash.
Yeah, and we're already at 32 through 5 months, so it's looking pretty good. My next item then is Resolution 1368, lawn abatement. Actually, I only need it for 4602 Sedalia Road. Trellis Way has been cut. I went by there today. And Ronaldo Road, they've contracted with Barron's to have it cut. I spoke with Barron's today. The residents already paid up front for it, and Barron's expected to cut it today or tomorrow.
All right, I'll authorize Resolution 13068 to abate 4602 Sedalia Road.
Second.
Call the roll, Mr. Hennon?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Thank
Hey, Darrell, the schools were really, you did a great job of getting this zoning thing moved up for the schools. They have mentioned more than once how appreciative you were. I know it's our job, but you know what, I didn't want it to go unnoticed, and I just wanted to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
So, nice job.
Yeah, I
Now
noticed too. I was at my niece's in Oregon, and they had about 10 houses built near hers already. They're really building out in the suburbs. So things are really picking up around the whole outlying areas.
Yeah.
So,
Seems to, and
Yep.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that site of the old Central Elementary.
also, one last thing. I got a complaint on that 4332 Alexis. I drove by there. It doesn't look too bad on the grass right now, but it's getting a little bit longer again, just to let you know.
Yeah, I was going to speak to somebody about that tonight,
good.
but he's not here.
That's all right. Just to let you know. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Greg, you have anything? Greg? Anybody have anything for Greg? Okay, next is Chief. Yeah.
Good evening. Before you, you have the May monthly report. I'll skim through it. Page 2, you can see that our fire reports, our fire incidents are up from where they were last year, about 52, and then for the whole year we're up about 97 fire runs from where we were this same time last year. Page 3, we are still working with the state of Ohio and Lucas County to take care of the software issues with ETI. We are getting closer. We did ask the state for a extension on our ability to go ahead and submit those reports to the state. We are almost 6 months behind right now. The state understands the issues that we're having because they understand and because they're actually trying to work to alleviate them right now. Page 4, I know we're always interested in automatic aid and how much aid we give communities and how much aid we get from communities. We're still running about a 60-40, 60% being we're getting aid from both Springfield Township and Toledo Fire Division, and that 40% we're giving aid to Springfield. You can see the different runs on there. Most of them were fire runs that we either gave help to Springfield or Springfield helped fill in our stations. On fire runs right now we have 2, this will be in the June report, but we have 2 arson fires that we're actually looking into that happened within the last week or 2. On page 5, public safety education, we had 11 public safety events. We help the high schools out, the med tech students every year. We have 3 different things that we do with them. We teach them about backboarding patients, basic first aid, and also childbirthing. So we did help the med tech students, help them understand and go through the process of delivering a baby. It's always a fun time for them there. And we also stood by for the St. Joseph's 5K walk. Building plan reviews, again, we're seeing also an increase in our building plans submitted for commercial buildings. So I do hope that this continues on throughout the whole year. The crews went out and during the month of May got into 472 commercial buildings to do our inspection program. And we also participated in the mock accident. The mock accident for Northview was on May 1st. We participated in that as well as with the police departments. And we also had a presence at the 24-hour challenge. We provided first aid at the 24-hour challenge. On page 6, our training. This month in June is the last month we will have our 4 hours of EMS training with Lucas County. We'll take July and August off. May we had 224 hours, or targeted hours. We completed 216. The reason that varies from month to month is we have 6 of our individuals on the department that are also instructors for Lucas County. So when they go down there and they actually teach for Lucas County, they're being paid by Lucas County and it doesn't cost us any overtime. Our crews hone their skills on high-angle rescue, and we have 2 homes on Central Avenue that were given to us for training purposes that we went ahead and went out and practiced cutting holes in roof, breaching walls, and saving trapped individuals in those homes. The last page, page 7, is a nice note to Deputy Chief Freilich for working with SCAT to organize and help guide the mock accidents both at Southview and Northview.
Congratulations on your board appointment as president of SCAT this year.
Yeah, my wife's real happy
sure
with
she
that
is.
one.
Thank
No,
you for doing it.
I think that SCAT is a very worthwhile organization, and I'm flattered that they would even ask me to chair that. So I thank you for that.
And I would like to make one comment, too.
Yes,
Last
sir.
night at our Sister Cities meeting, and the mayor was there, which, Mr. Zeitler, I feel bad that you didn't get the message out to us, because I didn't even know about the joint meeting over at City Council with Sister Cities when the mayor of Woodstock came down.
That's actually,
The reception, no one even told me about it. Now I know some stuff from the meeting last night, because I had to run the meeting last night.
There was
'cause
an email sent.
yeah, there was.
I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
you were copied.
I didn't get
Oh,
it.
You were
you didn't get
copied.
it?
I know, but I didn't get it.
Okay, you were copied though.
I understand that, but I didn't get it.
We got the check, and they sent it to you.
But I was going to see if we could use Mike Graham to help us on our board because they want to do a lot of stuff with the fire departments together.
Okay.
So I think it would be a good job for him to get involved in that group and
Sure.
help us out. Okay?
I can volunteer for that.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping he would do. And he's not here to say no. So
He's not here to say no.
All right, good. I'll get a hold of him.
Okay.
Good work, Chief.
Thank you. I have two other things. At our construction meeting this morning, the number one's firehouse is on budget on time. The weather didn't hurt us at all. The precast concrete will be in next week. The crane should arrive on Monday or Tuesday, and we'll start putting the floors on. It'll take 1 day for the precast, and that will be Wednesday, the 26th. If you want to see something unique, the crane will be lifting those precast concrete into the station on the 26th, which is Wednesday. I have one other thing for you, if you allow me, and that is a resolution. You know that we advertised for a part-time administrative assistant. We went through the interviewing process, and we have a recommendation to hire Becky Clausen. So I'm offering, Resolution 13067.
Go ahead, Neil.
Please.
Go ahead.
I'll offer Resolution 13-067 to hire a part-time administrative assistant.
Second, but that's what I was going to ask a question before, but I'll do it after we do it. No, hang on, I got a question now. Now it says pending successful completion of post-offer testing. Will she be starting her testing, you said, then on June 19th, which is then tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow will be she'll go right in for the testing right away.
Okay, that's what I was curious
Yes,
about.
sir.
Okay, that's what I was making sure. All right, go ahead. Sam.
Okay. Call the roll, Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mullin?
Yes.
If nothing else, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Trustee Haddad, what I'll do is I'll contact Laura tomorrow at the city and have her send you a test email to make sure she has your address right.
Yeah, because I didn't get anything
All right.
on it. It was really, and then I
We'll check
got
that
your
out.
email and I couldn't open up the PDF. So I didn't know about it, and I called Mike, but he's been sick. Lieber, he's been really sick, so
Yeah.
he hasn't been doing too well. And everybody's telling me, how come I'm not going to meet? I says, give me a date and time, and no one gave me nothing on it. And I talked to the mayor yesterday. He says, I really felt bad because you're on the board. I says, how do you think I feel? Go ahead.
The police have already done their report, so that is administrator, and Kevin, you said you had something on administration?
Yes, I
Was
just was going to let you know that I'm going to be going next week. We got all set up. We met, the county officers just met about an hour ago to make sure that I'm going to Columbus. I won't be using township car because it's going to be township county association stuff. So it won't impact our township as a direct impact. It's going to be the Lucas County. So we're going to approve that through us to pay for that expense and not use the township stuff.
Okay.
So we won't be in the township car.
Was that the 26th?
Next week, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be leaving the night before because
Okay.
the meeting starts at 9:30 in the morning. There's
Sure.
no way I'm going to get up at 5 and start driving that early down
Yeah.
there. Especially after my surgery stuff. So.
All right, next up is fiscal officer, and Jim?
Yeah, I have just one item on the agenda, the May financial report. You have that on the screen or on laptop. Revenues are right where we expect them. The percentages, except for the general fund, which we got a pretty good chunk on the inheritance tax, that put us way above our percentage. And the fire fund is not up there yet because we haven't gotten our two payments from the ambulance
Yeah.
thing. So
Is that right?
this was as of the 31st of May. So
I just received an email from Lucas County that they received the final contract from another agency, not ours, and that the fact that they've received that last final contract, that they will issue the checks for the first 2 quarters.
okay,
So we should get that check shortly.
yeah.
Nice.
So once we get those two checks, that'll put the fire fund above where we expect it to be. The expenditures are all below what we think we expect them to be at the end of May, 41.7%. So departments are, as I said, departments are doing a very good job in their spending.
Yes, they are.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Nobody
Open
signed
discussion.
up. Is there any open discussion? Nobody signed up for non-agenda items. So,
All right.
Well, the big thing I'll just say is that the OTA, we're going to be discussing local government innovative fund, and there's an IRS issue that's been brought up for townships, so I don't know what that has to regard. I'll bring all that information back when I come back from Columbus.
okay. Ooh, I hear the word IRS.
That was the first thing on the agenda, and they didn't give any description of what it's about.
Well, I guess we can adjourn.
Yep.
Need a motion?
Need a
Motion to
motion.
adjourn at 6:26.
Second.
Call the roll, Mr. Haddad.
Yes.
Mr. Lemon.
Yes.
I might add that anybody wants to see the police
Yeah, I'm
dog,
gonna
he's
go
out
see the
there.
dog.
That never did open. Tammy,
Can they go out that door with you?
Yeah, they come out here.